Welcome back. In today's video we're going to be doing some appearance changes to the RM250 I just got. The first thing I already did was I cleaned all the paint and rust off of the pipe and torched the weld lines just like we did on the CR250 project. So I'm going to throw a couple quick clips of that in there just so you can see the process. Today is we're going to be doing some different plastics and graphics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do black in the back, so black number plates and fender, and then yellow up front, and then I will be updating the front number plate and fender to the 2017 RM450 style, and I ended up picking up one of the conversion kits that Prime MX makes. So instead of going through and showing you taking all the plastics off, I'm just going to cut to it being done. Alright, got all the new plastics on except for the new number plate and fender. In a second we're going to get into how to use that conversion kit that I got. But the plastics in the back are used because I have something I'm planning to do with them in this video. So I got used ones that are a little cheaper, and then everything in the front is going to be new. So let's get into converting this over to the 2017 front end. Alright, this is everything the kit comes with. It comes with new hardware along with some different washers and standoff washers, which are going to be used since we need to drill our new holes on this ridged part of the fender. It comes with the proper size drill bit, and then this plate with the two holes you're going to drill, and then threaded holes so we can get everything lined up straight, and then some clear vinyl strips if you're going to use a stadium plate. Alright, so the first thing that we will do is we're going to get our plate mounted up onto our fender. So I'll just take those bolts and run them through the bottom to kind of lock this in place so we can drill right where we need to. Alright, now that we have our plate on, we're going to grab our drill bit and we're going to drill two new holes right here. Alright, now that our holes are drilled, we can take our bolts out. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our little offset washer guys and we're going to put those on the top side. So those will just press right up top. And then you might be able to see this. It's going to give us something flat to mount to on the bottom of the triple clamp. Alright, so you get two sizes of bolts, shorter ones and longer ones. The longer ones are going to go for these new holes we just drilled, since we need to make up some more space now. And these shorter ones will go in the back of the fender where we didn't have to do any modifications. Alright, I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to show this by myself, but we are going to get this mounted up. We're going to start with the front two bolts since they don't really want to stay in place. The fender washers don't. So we'll need the two flared ones on top and then two flared ones on the bottom. Just kind of get these bottom ones started in here, and then we're going to use our two longer bolts to keep them in place a little better. And we're going to try our best to hold them in place and put our washers back on top. Then we'll use a 4mm Allen wrench to tighten these onto here. Alright, now that I have the front two bolts started in there loosely, I'm going to get the back ones in and then I'm going to start snugging everything down. Alright, our next step is going to be putting on our front number plate. This one is going to be super easy because it just mounts straight up. There's no modifications needed. So we'll just get that in place, and then I'm going to kind of measure to put on these clear vinyl strips. Their purpose is to keep the zip ties from rubbing through your fork coating. So they're going to go basically right above these stickers that are already on the forks, in my case. Alright, and now we're ready to bolt on the front number plate. Alright, the last step will just be to put on our front brake cable holder. Alright, it's finally time to start putting on the graphics. I already went through and cleaned all the plastics. So I am going to start on the rear number plates. This is just a cheap set of graphics I got. I just wanted to kind of make the bike kind of my own, put my own look on it. And another reason why I got these is because of the line down here. What we're actually going to do is we're going to take a Dremel and we're going to cut off the whole plastic right here to kind of modernize the look. These graphics are going to be a little tough to put on because they weren't individually cut. I think on the next one I'm actually going to use some scissors and cut it out so it's a little bit easier to put on. Alright, got all the graphics on. These graphics were super cheap because I knew I didn't want to run them long term. They are so thin, they were so difficult to put on, and they looked absolutely terrible. They turned out so bad. I've never had a problem putting on graphics before, but this time was different. It's just so thin, it's so hard to work with, but from few feet away it looks pretty good, but when you get up close it just looks absolutely terrible. Like, I'm gonna show you as much as I don't want to. There's a bunch of like wrinkles and air bubbles stuck in there. It was hard because you heat them up and then they get so soft, and I had problems with them ripping. So yeah, don't buy cheap graphics even if you don't plan on running them long, because you will have a very bad experience. Alright, now I'm going to try updating the look of these rear plastics. I'm going to try using a Dremel wheel to cut on this line I was talking about earlier. I've never done this before, so I have no idea how it's going to turn out, so I'm just going to go for it and see what happens, really. Well, it's definitely not perfect, but it could have turned out worse. So I'm going to take that as a win for today with all these losses I've had on this video. So I'm just going to take a second to clean this up a little bit, and I'll show you how it looks after. Alright, here it is cleaned up. I'm actually really surprised with how that turned out. I thought it was going to turn out a lot worse, but I actually like this quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the other side. And I'm going to throw these back on the bike and show you how it works. Alright, bike's back together. Not super happy with the angle this ended up being, but I still dig it. I mean, you don't know till you try. So, yeah. Got it looking a little bit different, a little bit more modern. Yeah, these front ones don't fit right, so I had to cut them up a little bit. But I think that's going to do it for today. Thanks for checking out the video.